Ethiopia saying the same thing. And it's not only him that I hear saying the same thing. I can hear many Africans. I can hear Kambarage Nyerere of Tanzania speaking in Dar es Salaam saying, education will make us change the continent of Africa. I can hear Samora Moises Machel saying the same in Maputo. I can hear Modibo Keita saying the same thing in Bamako, in Mali. I can hear many voices. But the question is, so many years after we regained our independence, so many years after we built many schools, so many years after we graduated many professionals, so many years after we demonstrated to ourselves that we can run universities, what has changed? You know, you will agree with me because you must, that many years after independence, we have no shortage of doctors. We have no shortage of engineers. We have no shortage of teachers. We have no shortage of professionals in all fields. But is Africa the better because of it? Has Africa realized our potential? Do we build our own roads, or others are building it for us? When we are sick, do we have the confidence to go to our own hospitals, or we refuse to visit those hospitals? When we have as much as acquired some middle-class status, do we have the courage to take our young men and women to our universities, or we fear? These are the questions that we must ask ourselves. Because as I've said elsewhere before, Africa consumes what it produces not. And of course, produces what it does not consume. So today when we talk about education and where education is taking us in Africa, we must ask ourselves, what is the purpose of education? You know, sometimes when I think about the continent of Africa, and I think about many times, I ask, oh Africa, thou art the cradle of human civilization. Oh Africa, your great sons and historians like Cheikh Diop tell us that it is you, Africa, that gave birth to civilization. It is you, Africa, who built the pyramids, which confound scientists today. You did that over 5,000 years ago. But I ask myself, oh Africa, why is it that today, when your sons and daughters want to build hospitals, it is the Chinese in whom they are faith? I ask my mother continent. I look at Africa and I ask, oh Africa, you Africa who was in the business of producing great physicians, you Africa who produced great doctors, why is it that when your sons and daughters are sick, they run away from their professors that they have produced in their universities, and they go to professors in Europe and America? Oh, Africa, why, I ask? I ask you, Africa, you who has produced many architects and many engineers, why is it that when we get oil from your belly, even from the Delta state, we refuse to refine the oil. We allow the oil to be taken in crude from to the Netherlands and Belgium, and then we purify. I ask Africa, how is it, Africa, that your universities are producing graduates of agriculture, but when your sons and daughters in Nigeria want to enjoy jollof rice, they have to import it from Pakistan? I ask Africa these uncomfortable questions because Africa, through our leaders, promised us that when we established our institutions of higher learning, that would be the magic one that would make us begin to do things ourselves. I ask. That is why, even if you do not agree with me, I ask, with our education in Africa, with our education, I ask, you Africa, which is the home of many great things, how is it that there was our first industrial revolution and you missed it, oh Africa? I ask you, Africa, there was a second industrial revolution and you missed it, Africa. There was a third industrial revolution and you missed it, my mother, Africa. I'm told there is now one that is called the fourth industrial revolution. Mother Africa, will you miss it again? This is the question why I ask, with our education in Africa. And I do not stop there. I ask Mother Africa, is that not through education that we produce cars? And I ask Africa, Africa, show me the car that you produce. Show me your equivalent of the Mercedes-Benz, Africa. Show me your equivalent of the Range Rover. Show me your equivalent of the Volkswagen, Africa. And Africa tells me we produce engineers, but we have yet to produce cars. I ask Africa, we are now in the era of mobile telephony, and I ask Africa, Africa, where is your Samsung? Africa, where is your Apple? Africa tells me we are still thinking about it, we shall produce it later. Africa, where is it? And I ask, with our education in Africa. And I ask Africa, you Africa has invited me to speak here. And I see your sons and daughters immortalizing this occasion through cameras. And I ask Africa, where is your Kodak? And Africa tells me we have no Kodak. I ask Africa, where is your microphone? And it tells me for the moment we'll bring them from Japan and we'll bring them from Korea. And I ask, with our education in Africa, and as I sit here, I ask Africa, your sons and daughters present in this arena are adorned in all beautiful attire. And I remember that in Nigeria at one time when we started embracing education positively, we had textile industries in Kaduna. Where are those textile industries in Nigeria? And with our education, Africa, and I asked Africa, why is it that your sons and daughters are wearing shoes which are made in Italy? And I asked Africa, you are the home of the equatorial forest. Why is it that your daughters are wearing perfume made by Christian Dior and carrying bags that are made by Yves Saint Laurent? I ask Africa, what is wrong with you, Africa, with our education in Africa? I ask Africa, oh, you Africa who has brought me here to Delta, which is very hot and which requires the air conditioners. And I ask, where are the air conditioner that are made in Delta State, and Africa tells me no, for the moment we'll import them from South Korea and Japan. We will make them a little later. And I ask, with our education, Africa. That is my agony about my continent. But yet, as Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere famously said, on the 6th day of March 1997 in Accra, Ghana, as we continue to worry about Africa, we will make many mistakes. And all civilizations have made many mistakes. But the mistake that we must never make is the mistake of giving up. That mistake we must never make. Because I can tell you that even as we talk about the impact of education in Africa, let us remember that we are very young since we regained our independence. Nigeria is no more than 52 years since she regained our independence. Other civilizations have been there and were never disrupted. And that is why it gladdens my heart when on this occasion we are celebrating the 30th anniversary of the establishment of the Delta University. And I have no doubt in my mind that we have had our failings as a people, but this university has made a contribution to this community, and I dare say, even to Nigeria. Because I do not remember who, if my memory does not serve me well, you will remind me. But I remember now. It is Oscar Wilde who once said, no matter how rich you are, you can never buy back your past. So our duty is to look forward to the future. And what do I see when I look to the future? I'm not a Jewish prophet or a Nigerian seer. No, I'm not. Nor am I related to one of them. But when I look at the future, I see good things. When I look at the future, a future that I have the advantage of looking at here in Abraka from Delta State University, what do I see? I see an Africa where the education that we are offering our young men and women will be able to revolutionize the way we think. You know, I always remember those famous words of the great African-American Carter G. Woodson in his famous book written in 1933, Miseducation of the Negro. He says, and I agree with him, if Africa is to realize our potential, what we must do is to re-educate ourselves, because we have been miseducated for too long. Today, therefore, I'm saying, as we look to the education in Africa, our primary objective is to re-educate ourselves, to unlearn some of the things that we are taught. You know, many times, and we who have gone to school are the culprits. We do not appreciate ourselves as much as we do. I give this example. A student at any university, but permit me to say the Delta University of Abraka, is admitted in first year and gains a bachelor's degree. Then he proceeds and gains a master's degree. Then he proceeds and gains a doctorate degree. Then he buys a car. When he buys a car, he is an alumnus of Delta University at Abraka. He does not buy anything to place at the back of his car to say the proud alumnus of the University of Abraka. He is now a lecturer at the university and attends a 2-month course at the University of Cambridge. When he comes back, he now puts an emblem at the back of the car and alumnus at the back of the You get what I'm saying? Low self-esteem. That is how we must unlearn and re-educate ourselves. I hear people saying, for example, that the best university in law is Harvard University, and I ask them, whose law? Whose law are they best at? I am saying that we must begin to be proud of the things that we do. When we are talking about the best university in education in Nigeria, you are only competing against the University of Lagos, Ibadan, or Nsukka, or any of the universities. We must be proud of our own. And when I look at that future, and when I look at the young men and women who are at the back there, I see that indeed, as Chinua Achebe once wrote famously in 1958 in his book, Things Fall Apart, you are the young suckers that will grow when the old man comes down. I see an army of young men and women who are going to change Africa in education. And when I look at other areas, when I look at the area of agriculture, and I've had the advantage of driving through the lush land here in the Delta State, I see one day, because of the faculty of agriculture in this university, Nigeria will not be an importer of food, but an exporter of food. I look forward to the day when I'm sitting at a dinner table or at a breakfast table. I shall no longer be using milk from the Netherlands. I shall be using milk that is produced in Kaduna in Nigeria. I look forward to those days. I look forward to those days when you Nigerian ladies, and if you did not know, you Nigerian gentlemen, you are some of the best dressed men in the world, that one day the clothes they are making will not come from the Netherlands, but they will be made here in Nigeria. I look forward to that day. I look forward to the day when our leaders, whether they are of the political class, when they are sick, they will not be traveling to the United Kingdom or to the United States, but they will be treated here in Nigeria, because the truth be told, when they go to London or to Europe, the doctors that treat them are actually Nigerian. If only they knew. I look forward to the day when the cars that will be driven here in Nigeria will be made in Nigeria. I look forward to the day when our computer scientists will make unto us mobile phones. I look forward to the day when, as I drive to Abraka, the mannequins on which you are displaying your clothes will not be of white men and white women, but they will be black people. I look forward to the day. I look forward to the day when we shall be able to give meaning to our education that changes the quality of our life. You know, as I look to the future, I think about COVID. And when I think about COVID, I think about education. And I think how Africa has had to follow what she is told. When COVID came, and COVID is real, we were told to wear masks. And I see us wearing masks, but the masks are made in China. I look forward to the day when masks will be made here in Nigeria. When we were receiving vaccination, if you did not receive Moderna from the United States, or Sputnik from Russia, or Pfizer, you are busy complaining that the world has ignored us. Why shouldn't the world ignore us? I look forward to the day when Africans will no longer look for manna from heaven, because the last time I checked, God stopped delivering manna. God now gave us the intellectual wherewithal to produce our own money. So, my fellow Africans, the future that I see is a future that is bright, but with a caveat. The future is not going to come and descend on us without effort on our part. You know, sometimes when I travel across Africa and I believe in God and I am a practicing Christian, but sometimes I think because of our miseducation, we even misunderstand God. Those of you who are close to God may think I'm now bordering on heresy and blasphemy, but I'm not. There are things that we can only do through education and technology, not through theology. So Africa must now remember that the divine instruction was, go ye and subdue the world. And it's through education that we are going to subdue the world. We can only subdue the world when we use our intellectual wherewithal to change our circumstances. You know, as I drove to the university, after every 10 meters there is a church. I wish there were industries after every 10 meters. Because you cannot pray things into being, you must make them. So this belief by Africans that we are going to pray things to come into being. When was the last time you prayed a mobile phone into being? There is no such time. Let us pray all we can in order to worship our God, but remember that education is the only thing that is going to change our circumstances so that we prepare for heaven, but we do so in dignity down here on earth. And I have no doubt in my mind that education can help us achieve those things. So, ladies and gentlemen, as Delta University in Africa celebrates our 30 years of being established, we must ask ourselves, what have we achieved? We must take stock. We must ask ourselves, now that we have been in this community for long, when our history is written, what shall it be said of us? Have we improved the economy of our environment? Have we improved the quality of the life of the people here? Have we produced an army of young men and women who are going to change Nigeria? Have we produced an army of young men and women who are going to change Africa? Have we produced an army of young men and women who are going to demonstrate to the world that we are capable of competing with everybody? Have we produced an army of young men and women who believe that they have the capacity to compete with anywhere and any university anywhere in the world? If we have done so, then Delta University, you deserve to congratulate yourselves. But even as you congratulate yourself, do so modestly, because as Nelson Mandela once famously said, and I agree with him, when you climb one mountain, you discover yet that there are many more mountains to be climbed. So I am sure that you have climbed many mountains, but let us not confuse molehills for mountains, because sometimes we climb molehills and we think we have climbed mountains. You know, I've always remembered this, that for those who live next to a pond who have never seen an ocean, they call the pond the ocean. For those who live next to a river who have never seen a lake, they think the river is the ocean. For those who live next to the lake who have never seen an ocean, they think that the lake is an ocean. But when you actually behold the ocean, you know that your only value is to be a good droplet in that ocean. So, the University of Delta here at Africa, you are part of a great ocean called the world. You are a droplet of a great ocean called Africa. You are a droplet of a great ocean called Nigeria. I urge you to be a good droplet. You have worked firmly for the last 30 years. So today we are celebrating you because you deserve to be celebrated. But let us not forget that in celebrating we are merely re-energizing ourselves, and the energy that we are using must be an energy that gives us modesty. Modesty that allows us to say with Socrates that when all is said and done, the only thing that I know is that I know nothing, and that wisdom demands that I ever seek knowledge, because I have no doubt in my mind that in the great ocean of knowledge, you can never say you know. And if you ever say you know, then you are the greatest fool that ever lived on earth. So the University of Africa, go out there in the knowledge that we support you. Go out there in the knowledge that you must make a contribution to Africa. And for the young men and women who are passing through this university, my charge to you on this 30th anniversary of the creation of this university, you must remember that every institution is like a human being. When Abraham started, it made baby steps. It stated, and the steps were no longer baby steps. Then I believe that it had its adolescent stage. University of Africa, you are no longer an adolescent university. You can no longer throw tantrums. You have now become a young adult, and I'm now telling you, you are in the world of adults. Go out there and walk and bestride the world of academics like the great Colossus, and make changes so that your lecturers will be known for the patents that they register. Your lecturers will be known for the academic papers that they write. Your students will be known for the innovations and inventions that they come with, so that Africa can be great, so that Nigeria can be great, so that Africa can be great. And if Africa is great, then we all can sit at the table of humanity and wait for the second coming, so that it can be said of us, we came, we saw, and we conquered. God bless you.
Thank you so much, our lecturer. A round of applause for him. We all agree that it was thought-provoking and quite inspirational. Thank you very much, sir. At the moment, with the permission of the Vice Chancellor, I invite the music department to give a rendition for 5 minutes.
You go to the phone
Thank you, Music Department. With the permission of the Vice Chancellor, let me quickly acknowledge the following personalities. Honorable Charles Emetulu, Chairman, House Committee on Education, Delta State House of Assembly. You are welcome, sir. Right Honorable Ocho Christopher Ocho, Deputy Speaker, Delta State House of Assembly, represented by Chief Timothy Umokoro. You are welcome, sir. It's also the second member, Delta State House of Assembly Service Commission. Thank you so much. We have got to another critical point of the ceremony, and is to give souvenir to our commemorative lecturer. Permit me, Mr. Vice Chancellor, to invite you to present a souvenir to the 30th anniversary lecturer, Professor Patrick Law Otieno Lumumba. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir.
I want to say that for young minds here, this should be an event in your life that will make you realize that you are the future. Our distinguished lecturer has given you hope and courage about possibilities. It is not about lamentation of our failures, but the boldness with which we confront the future. That Africa has always been the cradle of civilization, in spite of what we may have lost. You are the hope of tomorrow. And it is the inspiration from our distinguished speaker, a voice of Africa, not in the wilderness, but a lot of people are beginning to change, are beginning to hear, telling our people what we need to do, that the time has come for us to realize our potentials. And I want to assure you that, of course, we'll continue to talk about Africa and we'll continue to see results, positive results, outcome of this encounter with young minds of Delta State University. In our culture, we always try to show appreciation for what has been done, and it is in this spirit that I respectfully call on Professor Lumumba to rise for the presentation of his program. On behalf of Delta State University, we are giving this to you as a token of our appreciation for this memorable lecture. Thank you, sir.
you very much, Mr. Vice Chancellor, for that presentation. And I invite the Public Relations Officer to do some announcements.
Thank you, my dear Registrar.